Graffiti, Coral and Some Other Bleep. A presentation by MBC.
Let's start off by defining innovation. Let's see what Google has to offer. Innovation. Noun, the action or process of innovating, a new method, idea, or product. Stephen Johnson's essay Platforms examines innovation through its causes and effects. Johnson offers an example of coral, which he terms as an ecosystem engineer, because once coral dies, it leaves behind tiny skeletons. These tiny skeletons eventually go on to form reefs and even islands, thus providing a platform for other life to begin to grow and thrive. In the same sense as reefs formed by coral, Twitter is a platform. It is a stacked platform because it is based on multiple internet innovations that have come before it, such as HTML coding, plugins, etc. Innovation also exists in the context of art. One does not need to build your own trumpet to play a song, or weave the fabric of the canvas, or make your paintbrushes and palette yourself. Johnson also examines this creative pioneering in the context of genre. Genres are the platforms and paradigms of the creative world. Artists can build within a genre or genres, or they can defy expectations by working outside of or playing with genre. Genre has allowed for multiple innovations in art, such as Dadaism, Impressionism, and many more, even in music. Now let's talk about graffiti. Graffiti is an innovation as a new genre of art. It takes art and defies the expectations of art by taking it off the museum walls and putting it in public, places where you wouldn't expect to see it. Graffiti has existed for thousands of years, in Rome, Greece, and up until the modern era. Graffiti and its meaning were transformed in the early 80s by the hip-hop movement through intricate spray art. City officials and police began trying to stop graffiti by painting over subway cars and the art left on the streets. This was when graffiti artists realized the true innovation of graffiti: the power to provoke. Banksy, an anonymous graffiti artist who started in the 90s, has gained a lot of popularity and started becoming a big name in the art world in the 2000s. Banksy was based in London, but has now sprayed in US cities and all over the world. Now, the value of a building goes up if it has a piece by Banksy on it. Banksy's work is even sanctioned by the UK government, sold at the Tate auction to people like Brad Pitt, and they even have a movie. Banksy's art has even been termed innovative. But what's so innovative about Banksy's work? Absolutely nothing. And here's why. Take this piece, for example. The artist seems to criticize the need for instant gratification, while also highlighting its effects on human connection. But Banksy's art relies on the same instant gratification that they criticize. It relies on that slap in the face feeling that comes with instantly figuring out its meaning. Jonathan Jones' opinion piece on Banksy writes, "He has invented the artistic equivalent of a tweet. You see it, you get it. Is that really what we want?" This makes Banksy's art a cultural commodity, similar to terrible pop art that's just meaningless lyrics and a beat, meant to be consumed by the public at large. These oh-so-clever art pieces also make you wonder if Banksy heavily doubts the intellectual capabilities of their audience. At first, I really liked Banksy, but now I can't help feeling like I'm looking at watered-down art. Let's take this piece, for example. Let Them Eat Crack, and a rat in a business suit. An oh-so-clever spin on Marie Antoinette's Let Them Eat Cake. The meaning of this piece is instantly obvious. Let them eat crack. Big businessmen and the nature of the capitalist society we live in care more about profit than they do about the lives of the humans that interact with the system. Banksy needs to point that out for us. But what Banksy doesn't point out is, who exactly is this rat? He does not hold anybody accountable for these actions. Banksy could use this piece to point out companies that are underpaying their employees or outsourcing their labor or using child labor in other countries, but he doesn't.
So I am confusion. Why is this one Kansas, but this one is not Arkansas? America, explain! Explain! What do you mean in Arkansas?
Some quick maths with Molly. If Banksy's art is low-key sucky and isn't subversive in the same sense as graffiti, what is it? Let me whip out my calculator. But in the meantime, to answer the Arkansas question, graffiti is innovative because it has the power to provoke. But Banksy isn't exactly provoking anyone with his very vague, general, lowbrow art. Banksy also sets the standard within the street art community for public art to be non-offensive and frankly, non-progressive. This means Banksy does the opposite, providing a platform for other people to make art. So this is not an innovation. Here are the Gorilla Girls, a group of female artists who are truly innovative. These gorilla mask wearing feminists are responsible for a poster campaign that began in 1985, which called out many famous art museums and art collectors and artists themselves for racist and sexist acts in the art community. We did just tear apart Banksy for having obvious, simplified art. This art is simplified as well. It presents things statistically, factually, in ways that you can't really disagree with it. But I'm going to argue that this is art, more so than Banksy, because the art has an emotion to it. Not only are they humorous, and you can tell that these women are angry, but this art is the direct result of discrimination. It is a feminist movement meant to empower other women. This is not to say that Gorilla Girls exist without controversy. Their work has been shown at the Tate, and many have accused them of selling out. But there comes a certain power to criticizing a museum and the institutions of museums on the walls of the museum itself. That means that there's a power and a respect given to the Gorilla Girls. Whereas Banksy is only wanted because he is perceived as valuable. But what's the difference? And is it even important? Banksy is the system, whereas the Gorilla Girls fight against the system. Banksy's art takes the innovative qualities of graffiti out of graffiti. His work is not innovative. It's some type of pseudo innovation, whereas the Gorilla Girls are truly innovative. Why does this really matter? Well, this whole issue arises within our own definitions of innovation. Is innovation really just that Google screen we looked at before? Is it really just a new product, a new idea? Any new idea? But should we reshape our definition of innovation to mean progress? To mean forward movement, not regression, like Banksy? Would this help us preserve the integrity of arts, literature, music? But in another sense, a lot of good ideas are born out of terrible ones. Who's to say? Banksy sucks, man.